give us a few before the rest of the participants join us. Thank you for coming today. We'll be starting really shortly. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ask Me Anything About Hackathon 2022, brought to you by Jewel Digital Ventures and 1337 Ventures in partnership with ASNB. I'm Wayan from 1337 Ventures, and together with me, I have Azul, Kelvin, and Zul from Jewel Digital Ventures. In this session, you'll be learning more about the Hackathon Virtual Fintech Hackathon, which will be happening next month, what the details are, how to join, and what to expect. Our organizing team will also be here to answer any burning questions that you may have about the hackathon. So feel free to drop your questions in the chat and we will be addressing them. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Azrul, the Chief Technology Officer of Jewel Digital Ventures, to provide us with an introduction to the Hackathon 2020, as well as our organizers and partners. Azrul, you may take the stage.
Can you hear me? All right. So welcome to this session. Welcome to the session. Yeah. So I want to give. Sorry, my Zoom is. So let me do a quick overview of Jewel Digital, ASMB, PNB, and also the Hackathon in general. So Jewel Digital Venture is a fully owned subsidiary of PNB, and our mission is to spearhead PNB's digital business strategy via venture building and also venture investment. So what this really means is that we are always on the lookout for innovative solutions that benefit the group and the country in general. ASNB, as you know, is the largest fund manager in Malaysia with over 300 billion with a B, asset under management. And it is the single largest shareholder in Bursa Malaysia. And what we do and have a significant impact for the country. In the last few years, we have embarked on a very aggressive digitization plan. We launched the first version of MySMB app back in 2019. And since then, there's been a series of updates, a series of improvements that focus on this app. For example, we launched a target level feature. We launched a Wakaf feature. People can now create an account directly from the app through eKYC without having to queue up and go to the physical bank or ASMB agent anymore, and many more. And the app itself is a hugely successful app with over 1.3 million users so far, and is fast becoming one of the most important engagement channel for ASMB. And despite that, we know that the community, the tech community and the fintech community in general can actually offer so much more. And this is why we are having this hackathon. We want to hear from you, especially the young ones. What do you want to see differently? What are the products and services that you think that will attract you to use MySMB product? Yeah? How do you see a highly engaged customer looks like? And you'll see that the problem statement that we have for this hackathon is pretty broad, and this is by design to help you create more ideas, generate more ideas, and for you guys to go wow. And to help you refine this idea and make sure that we are on the right track, you will be able to access our internal resource and via industry mentor and mentors, and also a session that we will host throughout the hackathon. And this hackathon is actually an extremely rare opportunity for you guys to kind of like speak directly to ASMB with your ideas, and I hope that you take this opportunity to learn, innovate, and most importantly, also to have fun. Kelvin, you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you've said it quite well. So this is our inaugural hackathon by JDV in partnership with ASMB. As Hazrul has said, you will have insight to our mentors and, of course, the heads of departments of ASMB, as well as we're looking to provide additional information from ASMB and the ecosystem as well, which you will have access to. I think, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll open. I think I'll pass it back to you. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Zul, and as well as Calvin for the brief introduction on the hackathon. So as mentioned, this hackathon is organized by Jewel Digital Ventures and 137 Ventures in partnership with ASNB, and these are our supporting partners for the hackathon. So now to bring all of you through some of the details of the hackathon. So we actually have 2 tracks available for all of you to choose from. We have the open track as well as the advanced track. So for the open track, we will be accepting participants regardless of your technical and coding background, and all Malaysians who are currently residing in Malaysia or non-Malaysians with a valid employment pass, student pass, or residence pass are eligible to participate. So if you are a developer, a product designer, a student, or even a first-time hackathon joiner, we will welcome you to sign up for the open track. And for the advanced track, all Malaysian as well as international startups are eligible to participate in the advanced track. However, you will need to be a registered startup with a valid company registration number in order to be eligible for the advanced track. So regarding the output of the hackathon, you are required to build an innovative solution solving one of the key problem statements that are listed on the website if you have visited the Hackathon website. And these are some of the key deliverables required for each track. For the open track, participants will be required to submit a presentation deck as well as a mock-up. For the advanced track, startups will be required to submit a proof of concept or a working prototype at the end of the 3-day hackathon. So this is an overview of the hackathon timeline. As you can see, from the 11th to the 13th of October, we will actually be having a series of pre-hackathon workshops for you to learn more about the state of the industry, as well as to understand the problem statements and problem statements data better. After the workshop, we will be kickstarting the 3-day hackathon from the 14th to the 16th of October over a weekend, Friday to Sunday. And during this hackathon, we will also be having some business and tech mentors who will be coming in and providing you with some comments as well as feedback. And eventually, we will be shortlisting the top 5 teams from both the open track as well as the advanced track who will be presenting during our final demo day. Here is a overview of the prizes and benefits that all of you will be getting. Very attractive prizes up for grabs. The top 3 teams from the open track will actually be walking away with 10,000 ringgit, 5,000 ringgit, and 3,000 ringgit respectively, followed by 2 consolation prize of 1,000 ringgit each. Okay, so that's for the open track. And for the advanced track, on the other hand, the top 3 teams will be walking away with 50,000 ringgit, 10,000 ringgit, and 5,000 ringgit respectively, followed by consolation prizes of 3,000 ringgit for 2 teams. And one more thing to take note for the advanced track is that there will be implementation grants of 100,000 ringgit, which may be allocated to up to 3 teams for the advanced track at the discretion of the organizers. And this will be able to help you to further develop your projects. So what's in it for you in this hackathon, right? As mentioned, we have really attractive prizes of up to 391,000 ringgit up for grabs. We also have a variety of benefits such as Microsoft Azure credits, Microsoft productivity and dev tools for participants as well. And if you would like to further accelerate your projects and turn it into a startup, especially for those who are in the open track category, teams will also be given a green lane to our 1337 Ventures Alpha Startups Pre-Accelerator program, where the top teams will be given funding for your ideas. And of course, as mentioned previously by Calvin as well as Azrul, we have a series of renowned fintech leaders as well as tech experts who will be your mentors during the hackathon itself. So that is a brief introduction of our hackathon. And in the registration form, we actually gathered some key questions from participants, some frequently answered questions, right? So we will be addressing them here. Meanwhile, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the chat box, and myself, Calvin, and Azrul will be addressing them at the end of this session. So we have quite a number of questions with regards to eligibility, right? What exactly is the eligibility criteria for the hackathon? So as mentioned, we have two tracks, open track and advanced track. For the open track, it's open to Malaysians as well as non-Malaysians, 18 years and older, so long as you have a valid employment pass, student pass, or residence pass, and you are currently residing in Malaysia. So for the advanced track, on the other hand, it is open to any startup, whether you're a Malaysian startup or a international startup, so long as you have a valid company registration number. All right, so these are the eligibility criteria for each track. Moving on, we had a couple of questions with regards to team as well. So for the open track, it's actually open to both teams as well as individuals. So you may choose to join the hackathon either as an individual or as a team of 2 to 3 participants. So if you do proceed to join the hackathon as an individual participant, you have two choices. You can either choose to remain as an individual participant throughout from start till end, or you may choose to form a team with other individual participants as well. And in order to facilitate this, we will actually be having a team formation session during one of the pre-hackathon workshops to help you form teams with other individual participants. And one thing to take note is that there is no compulsory technical requirement for the open track, so you may join regardless of your technical and coding background. For the advanced track, startups can either send an individual representative or a team of 2 or 3 representatives for the hackathon, right? Because it is necessary for startups to produce a working prototype. So it is necessary for teams as well to have at least one technical participant, right? So if you're sending an individual representative, he or she must have a technical background as well. Moving on, team formation. So as mentioned previously, for those of you who are joining as individuals, you have the option in the registration form to join our matching process with other individual participants as well. So if you do choose to be teamed up with other individuals, we will be having a team formation session on the 11th of October, Tuesday, for you to team up with other individual participants who wish to find a team. Further information regarding this team formation session will be provided during the onboarding session and onboarding email. But if you do choose to remain as an individual participant from start till end, you will not be required to join the team formation session, and you will be expected to complete the entire hackathon as a solo participant. As mentioned previously, if you have any further questions, feel free to leave it in the chat and we'll be addressing it later. Next up, a very frequently asked question as well with regards to project submission. What exactly are the outputs for each track? So for the open track, you'll be required to submit something called the hackathon canvas. So this is basically a one-pager overview of your project, which will be provided to you during the hackathon itself for you to fill in. Other than that, you will also be required to fill in a presentation deck, as well as present a mock-up via platforms such as Figma. All right. Of course, if you have any optional supplementary materials that you wish to submit as well, such as any code repo link or GitHub link, feel free to submit those as well. For the advanced track, you will also be required to submit a hackathon canvas. However, because the advanced track will be technically judged and we are required to submit a working prototype, you should be submitting some form of proof of concept or prototype, as well as a GitHub or code repo link. And definitely, if you have any other optional items that you wish to submit, such as wireframes, mockups, etc., that will be accepted as well. Take note that participants are allowed to develop your solution in any form of programming language or framework, whether on mobile or web platforms. Moving on, many people have been asking whether coding knowledge is required, whether you require any form of financial or investing knowledge in order to join the hackathon. So for the open track, there is no technical requirement. Feel free to join regardless of your coding and technical background. However, for the advanced track, due to the expected output of a working prototype, teams must have at least one technical participant. And if you are joining as a solo participant representing your startup, you should have a technical background as well. But beyond that, we accept participants from all fields, all backgrounds to join us. Next question that I'll be addressing would be the scheduling. How exactly will the scheduling be like for the entire hackathon? So as previously mentioned, we'll be having pre-hackathon workshops from the 11th to the 13th of October, 3 days leading up to the hackathon. So we will be having a series of 8 workshops across those 3 days, covering topics with regards to the fintech and investment industry, as well as problem statement data and more. We will also be having a team formation session on the 11th of October for individuals that wish to form teams. After the pre-hackathon workshops, we will be having the 3-day hackathon, which will be kickstarting on the 14th to 16th of October 2022. So there are some compulsory sessions during the hackathon itself, such as the onboarding session, as well as the mentoring office hours. But beyond that, teams will be given the liberty to work on their projects at their own time and their own target, provided they submit their output by the deadline on day 3. All right. So at the end of the 3 days, we'll be accepting all the submissions and evaluating the top 5 teams from each track. So the top 5 teams from each track will be proceeding to present their projects at our final demo day on the 29th of October 2022. All right, so those are the frequently asked questions that I have addressed, and now we'll be moving on to the Q&A session. So let's take a look at some of the questions that participants have. Okay, so I think we have one question here from Arif Nohadi, whether this hackathon is fully remote. Yes, so all of the workshops as well as the hackathon itself will be fully remote, except for the demo day, right? So the demo day will actually be held in a physical location. However, if you are unable to travel to KL for some reason, or you perhaps you are not comfortable with presenting physically on the demo day, we will be arranging a virtual format for you as well. All right. Thank you so much for that question, Arif. Okay, next question from Sanjay. From the advanced track, can we work along with our local registered partner? We do not have a direct entity in Malaysia. Calvin, would you like to address that?
Yeah, sure. So Sanjay, to your question, yes, you can work together with your local registered partner, or alternatively, as we mentioned, as long as you have a registered company and can work from your location, you're okay to register as well. We have opened up the registration, so it's no longer just registered Malaysian companies. As long as you're a registered company anywhere, you can join.
Thanks, Calvin.
All right, thank you, Sanjay, and thank you, Calvin, for that. Moving on to our next question by Jules. For the open track, could you give some extra explanation or examples on what kind of mockup we are supposed to present? Okay, so for the mockup, because for the open track, it is not compulsory for you to submit any form of working prototype or code. However, you may submit it if you wish to. But in terms of mockup, perhaps something along the lines of a wireframe on Figma, so long as you are able to illustrate the user flow of the app or the website, that will be sufficient from our end. Perhaps Azrul or Calvin, do you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, I think in terms of mockup, I think you have to think of it from the perspective of how does the mockup support your idea. Yeah, I suspect there might be some idea that doesn't need a mockup specifically. Perhaps it's innovation around not directly on that have interface, but for most part, we expect a couple of screen that demonstrate the flow that can describe your idea better.
Yep, thank you so much for addressing that, Azrul. And thank you for the question as well, Jules. Next up, we have a few questions from Isaac. Isaac is asking, can we join with an existing prototype, graphic design, or ideas? So for the hackathon, we expect individuals or teams to actually start fresh on day one of the hackathon. Kelvin, would you like to add on that?
Yep. So we understand that some people will be joining with an existing idea, but to keep it as a level playing field, you will have to start fresh. So you cannot bring in an existing prototype design that you already have prepared. So you can use the idea, but you will have to kind of code or design on the spot to come up with the presentation at the end for whether it's the open track or the advanced track.
Yeah, thank you, Calvin, for that. And a second question by Isaac is whether to confirm if only incorporated companies are able to join the advanced track. I think as mentioned by Calvin just now, yes, you do need to be a registered company. However, we've opened it up. You can either be a Malaysian company or even a non-Malaysian company, so long as it is a registered company officially. Thank you so much for that question, Isaac. Next slide, Arif, can we have this slide for our reference? Sure, we are able to arrange for some of these slides to be sent over after the session itself. However, feel free to go to our website, hackertech.my. Erin, if you could help to send the website to the chat if possible. So feel free to go to our website and you'll be able to see all of these details with regards to the hackathon. Okay, moving on to our next question by Ila. I'm an entrepreneur who runs jewelry business. Can I join the advanced track for a new business idea? All right, so if you already have a registered company and you feel that your startup has a potential angle that can target one of our problem statements, you're more than welcome to join our hackathon, so long as you are able to come up with a solution that is relevant to our problem statements. Kelvin, anything to add on?
Yep. So we have provided 6 problem statements that are actual problem statements faced by our partner. So if you have an idea that can solve any of that, by all means, feel free to join, regardless of your type of business that you're running. But do understand that we are looking for innovation and, of course, solutions that can be digitalized or digitized to help with improving the sort of innovation of the company. So we will be looking more towards something that can be solved with a digital means. That's why it's a hackathon. But yeah, feel free to join if you have an idea that can solve one of the solutions. Of course, I think problem statement number 6 is quite open. Feel free to provide any solution that you feel that could fit that criteria, and we are more than happy to have a look at it.
All right, thanks so much, Calvin. Next question from Sanjay. If the idea works, will the idea be productionized as an enterprise project for ASNB? So if you refer to this slide, specifically for the advanced track, there is actually a discretionary implementation grant of 100,000 ringgit that may be allocated to up to 3 teams. Calvin, would you like to add on?
Yep, sure. So as mentioned by Wei En, this is an implementation grant. So if you are one of the finalists and reach the advanced track, and we take your idea and move forward with it, then we will share with you the implementation grant. How we move forward, whether as a partner or working together, we will discuss that with you upon moving forward, and how we will work to implement your idea together with our partner, ASNB as well. So yes, there are a few ways we could move forward. So if your idea suits our solution, your solution suits our problem statement and we wish to take it forward, yes, we will look to how we can work together.
Thank you so much for that, Calvin. And adding on to that as well, if you want to further develop your idea, if you're not a startup yet, you may also be given a green lane to our 1337 Ventures pre-accelerator program. So in this program, you'll be able to further develop your projects and also stand a chance to receive pre-seed funding as well as a variety of digital benefits. I hope that answers your question, Sanjay. We have another question by Ernest. For the open track, do I need to have a registered company in Malaysia? And how will it affect the final price? No, for the open track, you do not need to have a registered company at all. You can be an individual participant, you can be a student, product developer, or even a designer. How will it affect the final price? I think the final price will only be affected by which track you're joining. So if you're joining the open track, it will be, the category on the left. If you're joining the advanced track, it will be the category on the right. And these are the prizes that you will be receiving. Okay, I think we don't have any more questions. We have one more question by Arif. Are you planning to add more apps under PNB, or we are planning to add our ideas in the existing ASNB app? Calvin, would you like to address that?
I think I'll pass to Azrul for that.
Yeah, I think for the answer to this, it depends. Of course, the current apps and the future apps that we're planning, we do want to have more features that are engaging to the user, and this is an opportunity, I think, for you guys to propose that. And we are at the stage where we are open to have this feature within the app, but at the same time, we are also open to have like, for example, a completely new initiative implemented as a separate app as well. So the answer is, like I said, it depends, and it depends on how you propose the solution.
Just to add on to Azrul's comment, is it doesn't have to be an app also. It could just be a feature product that we can include to the ASNB's ecosystem or JDV's ecosystem as well. It doesn't have to be specifically an app. But again, that's entirely up to your solution and how you would like to propose it.
All right, thank you so much for the question, Arif. We still have a bit of time, so the floor is open to anyone who has any more questions to ask the team. You can even unmute yourself to ask us, or if you're too shy to do so, feel free to drop it in the chat as well. All right, let's just give everyone around a few more seconds. Any more questions from the crowd? All right, it seems like we do not have any other questions. So before we wrap up today's session, allow me to do a very quick recap again on the 2 hackathon tracks that you may join. So we have the open track, that's open to anyone and everyone, whether or not you have a coding or technical background or not. And for the open track, it is open to Malaysians as well as non-Malaysians with a employment pass, student pass, or residence pass. All right. So for the open track, you can either join as individuals or teams. And if you join as an individual, you may choose to proceed throughout as a solo participant, or you can choose to form a team during our team formation session. And for the advanced track, we will need you to be a valid registered startup. It doesn't matter whether you're a Malaysian startup or an international startup, so long as you have a valid company registration number. For the advanced track, because you are required to produce a working prototype, each team or each individual, there needs to be at least one representative with a coding or technical background in order to produce a working prototype by the end of the session. Okay, I think we have one more question. For the 11th to 13th, are the classes compulsory to attend? So for the classes, we highly encourage you to attend. Don't worry, it's not a full day for 11th to 13th. It will just be a couple of talks on each day. But we really encourage you to attend because one of those sessions will actually be a session regarding the problem statement, where we will have a representative bringing you through all the problem statements as well as some of the relevant data to solve as well. Kelvin, anything to add on?
Yep. Also to add on, that's where the team formation will be happening as well if you're an individual. And we will have a speaker from ASMB directly as well who will speak about ASMB products and their business as well. So it will be quite beneficial for your solution to hear what he has to say regarding ASMB's products as well. And we also have success stories, success stories like Race Malaysia, and as well as explanation from industry experts, again, which could be beneficial to how you come up with your solution and how you think about the business plan that you would go about.
Thanks so much, Kelvin. And I think we have a follow-up question on that, whether the workshops will be recorded for us to view. Yes, we will be recording the workshops, but we would still recommend you to join the live sessions because there will actually be Q&A sessions during these live sessions. So you may ask any form of questions you have for the speaker from ASNB as well as from PNB and other startups as well. Okay, Huda is Tessa is asking, can I change my project or problem statement after the workshops? Yes, you may. Please do reach out to the organizing team if you wish to change your problem statement. Next up, a question by Huda. Where can I get information about the workshops? Okay, so for now, we only have the approximate dates for the workshops. With regards to the exact timing, exact speakers, etc., we will be sending that out on the onboarding deck once you have been confirmed into the hackathon, okay? Once we have confirmed your participation, we'll be sending you all the onboarding details along with the relevant dates and times. Thank you so much for that question, Huda.
Is it my internet?
Okay, any further questions? Going once, going twice?
Yep. So if anyone has any further questions, I'm going to just leave my email in the chat box. Feel free to reach out to me and email me directly. I'll weigh in as part of the organizing team as well. More than happy to discuss about the hackathon or your business or how we can work together with Jewel as well.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I'm guessing we do not have any more further questions. So thank you everyone for attending today's Ask Me Anything session. We actually have another session upcoming next Monday, 26 September. It is a webinar on the what and the how, understanding the fintech landscape. So this session is actually a session that will be covering the 6 problem statements. So if you want to sign up for the hackathon, or perhaps you are unsure which problem statement you want to choose, or perhaps you want to learn a bit more about each individual problem statement, do join us for this session. You may register via the link here. Erin, could you please send the link into the chat? All right, I think Erin has sent it. Yes, you may sign up for this event on the 26th via this link in the chat. We hope to see all of you there. Okay. I think that brings us to the end of our session. Thank you so much for attending this session. We hope that you have benefited from it and we had your questions answered. Do sign up via the link in the chat, as well as if you can take a picture of the QR code here, you may be redirected to the website. Thank you so much everyone for joining us today, and we hope to be receiving your submissions for the hackathon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.